Well, welcome back to the We Are City channel for a final instalment of our FC 25 series here with Manchester City. We were doing the rebuild, we're now doing the new age because it is the new age of Manchester City. The final instalment is a new manager. Pep Guardiola leaves with the quadruple under his belt and we replace him with German boss and young enigma of managerial news, really, isn't it? It's Julian Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann joins Manchester City as the new manager. I think this is a very realistic option after playing, managing Germany in the World Cup and the Euros and so on. 2027, he comes in and replaces Pep Guardiola, and there's big hopes that he can continue some of the amazing success that we've had over the past 3 seasons on this save under Pep Guardiola. Julian Nagelsmann's got it all to do, but Julian Nagelsmann has got a big test to make this the best Manchester City side he possibly can do in this final instalment of the series. Now, he will be going down to 2 uploads a week rather than 3, a new upload schedule because there was some different content coming on the channel, but we are upping it to 4 games per episode just to keep things moving and so on. And this is the inherited squad by Julian Nagelsmann. The side he's inherited, which is very interesting, isn't it? You're looking at the side. We've got lots of players. Our oldest players, really, Roderick, Karius and Milinkovic-Savic. They're the only 3 players 30 and over, and that really just show what a young squad we do have. And we've got a lot of young players in the team as well throughout the side as I flick through here to try and get the way things are looking. So Loris Karius, of course, our goalkeeper, Milinkovic-Savic, a goalkeeper as well, and he's a decent backup. I'd like him to stay around. He came in last season. I think he's a very good backup goalkeeper, and I wouldn't like to see him moving anywhere. Diogo Costa's the world's best, one of the world's best. I think he is the world's best in this save. 92 rated goalkeeper, and he'll be going absolutely nowhere. We've got Tommy Sousa, who we are right at the end of the previous season, so these players will be returning from loan. He's out on loan. Spike Brits has spent a year on loan at Ipswich. The idea is for him to move out on loan again, maybe to another Premier League side. Christy McFarlane on loan at Coventry. Maybe a return to Coventry on loan could be in store for him. He's one for the future, but unfortunately it's not developed quick enough. Abdoulaye Jajuma, a good player. He's been a little bit shaky. He's only 21. He's certainly got a lot of development left to do to get into the City side. Jamai Simpson-Pouze, who's not been developing very quickly out on loan. None. I think a permanent move away from the club is probably going to be the side for him. Victor Heis, I mean, he had a pretty good season at West Ham for 6 months out on loan. I think another loan is on the cards as well for Victor Heis, to be honest with you. Joshko Vardio, one of the world's best 90 rated centre-back. He is going to be the main man on the team sheet. He played over 60 odd games for Pep Guardiola last season, a key for everything. Thomas Araujo, he was a brilliant sign. He came in January and he made a really good impact. So he's going absolutely nowhere as well. He's going to be key to our defence. And so is Abu Qadir Kusanov as well. Only 23 years of age. We're hoping to get him to around 84 rated if we can do while in the squad. Max Lane spent the loan season at Bournemouth, impressed in the Premier League. He's grown by quite a bit. So when he returns from his loan, we're looking to get him in the side. Mafuni, we're looking to loan out again. A good loan at Girona. I think a Premier League loan is in store for Stephen Mafuni if we can continue his development. And the same goes for Kyle Samuel, who played on loan at Everton this season. Another Premier League loan is in store for him. Now, we have converted a few players' positions, as you can see here. Cambiasso is now a left midfielder. That is because of the way and the formation we're going to play, which we'll get into. So Cambiasso, 86 rated, he'll be key for us. And Savinho, as well as a left midfielder at left-hand side, 88 rated, 2 creative forces in the wide areas. Into the sort of central areas, we have the likes of Roderick, one of the world's best, 91 rated, now 30. There is a bit of whispers around maybe, now that Guardiola's gone, Rodri might want to go. We'll keep an eye on that one in this episode. Eduardo Camavinga, he is, 88 rated, very, very versatile midfielder. He is going to be key with the energy he brings to the side. Nico, yeah, he's not really found his place in this City side, unfortunately, under Pep Guardiola, who thought he would do. He's still developed well. 83 rated, he's decent. But I think someone like Adam Wharton probably is ahead of Nico in the pecking order. I think Wharton just has that bit more quality. And the same goes for Edison, a real machine in that midfield. 27 years of age. And he's become sort of the new Fernandinho for this Manchester City side. And he is going to be a key part of Nagelsmann's side. Banzuzi spent on loan on Brentford. He's one that we could get back into the side, actually. He's developed quite well at Brentford, but I think another loan away from the club will be in store. Nico Riley can play left-back. He's played left-back, but I think he will play more central midfield. The only problem is he's developing very slow. 75 rated still, when we want him around 80 rated to get into the side. Phil Foden has had ups and downs throughout his City career, 88 rated, but Julian Nagelsmann knows the quality of Phil Foden, and the same goes for Xavi Simons, who, former Leipzig man, I think it's going to be the real breakout season for him completely. Omar Mamouche as well can play behind the striker, 90 rated now. At 28 years of age, he's in the prime moments of his career. A real goal scorer. Rico Lewis, who hasn't probably played enough football, but he's happy as that sort of bit part player. He's just happy to play for Manchester City's boyhood club, so he'll stick around and he'll do that. Echeverri has had a poor loan in La Liga. It hasn't worked out from Villarreal, and it looks like another loan is probably in store from him in this save. Oscar Bob is going to play more centrally behind the striker. Big hopes for him. He's the one who's on the cusp of breaking into something special. The same for Mukasa, who's a little bit unhappy with his game time with Pep Guardiola, but we're going to try and increase that if we can do under Julian Nagelsmann. We've got so many good players in that position. Opavodu is going to go probably on a permanent move away from the club. We've got too much quality in that area. Frimpong's going to play much more further forward this year, 89 rated. The best right fullback in world football. McKay, potential to be special. He's going to be partnering with Frimpong on that right-hand side, sharing that right-hand side role. Big hopes for Ryan McKay this season. Jeremy Doku hits and misses well in his City career. Is the spacer in those wide areas, or is it time maybe we see Jeremy Doku move on? Sandro Wallageli, he's been on loan at Lecce. He's actually a decent loan at Lecce. He could become a player for us this season, actually. Nagelsmann quite likes the look of him. Ruprecht, he's going to be going on a permanent move as well. A loan move to Wolves has worked out pretty well, so we're trying to make that permanent. Haaland, of course, will lead the line throughout the season. 93 rated. No one is going to be replacing him. Oscarson, a decent backup striker. 80 rated, continues his development. He's a good player for the season. And then finally we have David Mabama, who might be in and around the squad this season. I've not quite made a decision on that. And of course we can't forget James Wilson as well as he moved down. He's been on loan at Sunderland. Probably another championship loan for the young man is going to happen this season as well to continue his development. This is the formation we're going to be playing under Julian Nagelsmann. It is a 3-2-4-1 sort of thing with two attacking midfielders supporting Erling Haaland, the two players in the wide areas. One will be a fullback and one will always be a winger. Only in really attacking games will there go two wingers maybe into the lower league side. And most of the time it's going to go like that. That's where the start 11 is looking at the moment, the players we've got, which I'm happy with. And it looks a really strong side, but there is obviously areas that we could improve upon, maybe more squad-wise than starting 11-wise. And you can see there in the reserves as well, on the bench, you've got lots of quality players as well. Mukasa, Makadu, Mabama, Ageli, Lewis. I mean, these are all players that could play a big role. Max Lane's 79 rated now. He's surely going to get involved in this season for Manchester City. And you can see that we've got quite a squad of big quality. A lot of these players in this bench area are very young players, players that can develop into the future side. And what I like about that is we've got this start 11 of players probably like 24 and above, 25 and above. But we know as they move over in time, because that's what happens in world football, these younger lads will step up and be the starters for Manchester City. Well, first transfer is Ruprecht. He makes a permanent move to Wolves for 30 million euros. We see Jamai Simpson-Pouze leave the club for 3 million euros. He moves to Sheffield United. We're making sure we move these players on the squad. And there's lots of moves in the market happening. Goya's moved to West Ham. I think we saw there. Banzuzi, he's going to move to Napoli in a 12-month loan move away from the club. Again, trimming that squad down. Yang Min-hyuk, who was fantastic for Spurs last season. He's been caught by Real Madrid. They signed him for around 40 million euros. And then Manchester City versus Leipzig is Nagelsmann's first pre-season game. A double by Xavi Simons and a 3-0 win. Thomas Sousa joins Montpellier on a 12-month loan till the end of the season. We see Atletico Madrid paying big money to partner Julian Alvarez with a new strike force partner in Lois Openda. 86 million euros for the Leipzig man. We've got Jeraine Timber joining from RB Leipzig to AS Roma. Alex Ramiro moving to Fulham as well from Leipzig to 34 million euros. The transfer market continues to be very active in this series, and I won't be surprised if we see €3 to €4 billion spent in the transfer market. And another big transfer, look at that, Chelsea lose Enzo Fernandez. He moves to Inter, 200 grand a week for a player who's not really hit the ground running, has he? McFarlane rejoins Coventry City once again on another 12-month loan. He seemed to like it playing there. And Claudio Echeverri gets a Premier League loan to Bournemouth. Hopefully, that's where we see him become a superstar. In the second pre-season for Julian Nagelsmann, we're going to simulate, we're not playing these. We get a 1-1 draw. Oscarson scores in the 23rd minute. And it's David Lopez of our sister club. Very old player, Lopez. He must be about 40 now. Still playing for Girona. He gets an equaliser in the 57th minute. James Wilson returns back to the Championship on a 12-month loan with Hull City, like we expected. And the loans continue. Spike Brits to Everton. City's youth system is running the Premier League at the moment. Brits to Everton. Vita Heist to Brentford, a 12-month loan. These loans really hurt across the Premier League. Lakal Samuel to Crystal Palace. Great chance for these players to develop and get experience. And Stefan Mafuni to West Ham United completes all our youth loans away from the club. Harvey Elliott makes a €94 million move to Brighton Hove Albion. Brighton have spent some big money, and a top young Argentinian player, maybe not so young anymore in this save. Giovanni Simeone moves from Atletico de Madrid to Leeds United. They're back in the Premier League, good sign for them. We've seen Yilmaz move from Galatasaray to OGC Nice. He come up against us, didn't we, early on in the series? He was very good. Braga signed Taliso, and look at that one. Barcelona signed Franco Mastantuono, probably the next best number 10 in world football. He's excited, you can see in the comments. €6 million. And Marc Casado, he's a Burnley player now. He's fallen from Barcelona. Up next in the pre-season was against Mumbai City, another one of our teams. A 2-2 draw, goals from Kusanov and Erling Haaland, but a red card for Nico O'Reilly, who played in the midfield. Ryan Cherki's made the move from Newcastle to Aston Villa. That's a surprise transfer. €71 million for the Frenchman. Well, we know there's a bit of an attitude issue maybe with Ryan Cherki, which he's talked about, and maybe that's the reason why we see them let him go. Reece James moves from Chelsea to Newcastle. Now from Newcastle to Italy. He's following Kyle Walker's footsteps in moving and replacing Kyle Walker at AC Milan, and a €56 million move. That's another big transfer, and the transfers continue to come thick and fast in this transfer window. And I am excited to see what the teams look like by the end of this series. I think we will do some sort of roundup episode way into the future, if that is a possibility. Sevilla signed Erbig, young goalkeeper from Bayern, for €32 million. And Florian Balogun, he moved to Ajax in this save. Now he's back in the Bundesliga, where I think he actually played there for Leipzig. They signed him as well at some point. He's moved around quite a lot, the former Arsenal youth system player. €42 million. That one is confirmed. A little bit more transfer news before we get into our club transfer news. Ricardo Pepe has moved the American for €57 million, joining Marseille from Lille. That's a big transfer, but one that is interesting is Ederson could be returning to Europe. Apparently, big clubs like Dortmund want him. And now we need to talk about our team, because we're going to talk about two players in the side that look to move on this summer. Two big departures from the club, which one, I think, is a big miss. And that, of course, is the club captain, Rodri. Shared a very special relationship with Pep Guardiola. He was his favourite manager of all time, I'm sure. He's had a long time at Manchester City, Rodri, but Rodri's decided to call it a day on his Manchester City career. He has approached the club behind the scenes and Julian Nagelsmann and said, listen, my time is up, my time is over. I want to leave Manchester City and I want to move to Spain. I want to return to Spain. That's my intention. If a club comes in for me, like Real Madrid, for example, who want the Ballon d'Or winner, then we'll see Rodri leave the club and move there. But yeah, life without Pep Guardiola is going to be difficult, and losing Rodri is one tough to take. And Rodri isn't going to be the only big departure, because we are going to lose as well in this transfer window. It looks like Jeremy Doku. He's another player who's asked to leave the club. He's not really had enough game time, I don't think, in these years under Pep Guardiola. I don't think he's ever been consistent enough to be a first-team player. And he's had discussions with Julian Nagelsmann and City sporting director Hugo Viana, who's made it clear to Jeremy Doku that he is going to be third choice on that left-hand side. The way we're going to play, the formation we're going to play, he would play off the left, and he is behind Savinho and Cambias on the pecking order. And for that reason, Jeremy Doku is searching for a new club. Him and his agent might find one, and he'll be another big departure away from Manchester City. So we know most of the outgoings and the main outgoings, but now we need to look at the incomings for Manchester City. We're going to look at many different positions. We've got a budget of around 100 million euros. We are looking for 80 plus rated players, but we are looking for potential for the future. And one of those is this right fullback, GR Reed. We're looking at someone for the future of that right hand side after Jeremy Frimpong. We've got Ryan Flamingo of PSV Eindhoven, another Dutch player actually, 24 years of age, as another centre back to come into the side. We've got Max Allen and so on. He could be an option as we flick through here. We've also got another Dutch player, 3 Dutch players actually, strangely enough, in Sepp Vandenberg of Brentford. 6'4", good pace, good physicality, good defending. Omar Solé as well, Satalo, both very quick defenders. We've got Alacucha, Fulham, but he's not quite what we want. Bernabe's on the list as well. I've got a big list of players. But this man at Brentford stands out to me actually as maybe a must-sign for our midfield if we're looking to replace Rodri. And that is Lamine Camara, 23 years of age, an all-rounder, which is what we're looking at. And when you look at our City side, the side that we're building, we're looking to bring in players that have all got energy all over the field. And the same goes to maybe replacing Jeremy Doku with Antonio Nusa of RB Leipzig. 93 pace, 85 dribbling. He could be really good on that left-hand side. However, with Savinho already and so on, it's whether they'll fit into this team. Another one is Bilal Alkunis. He could be a really good player, but we've got Bob in those attacking midfield roles. We haven't really got any key players we need to bring in. Just looking to some, maybe 1 or 2 to complement the side to increase Nagelsmann's chance of winning things. And I mean, we've got Barcola on the list as well, but maybe Batarina could be an option if we were to lose maybe a Phil Foden or something like that. But I can't see these players going. I think the way the squad's looking, we'll bring in maybe one little wide player, a younger player for the future, one central midfield player, and that will be it. And Jeremy Doku has made the move away from the club, so we're talking about Doku. He's moved to Marseille. They agree a €50 million deal for Jeremy Doku. Unfortunately, hasn't developed the way he wanted him to. Only 82 rated. He's just not. He should be 90 rated by now, Jeremy Doku. He really should. But his development has been stagnated quite a few times. Thank you for his service to the club. Absolutely fantastic player. But you can see by his stats, I mean, there on the right-hand side just faded away. 69 shooting. His passing, his shooting has not been great. His dribbling and pace have been fantastic. But that's unfortunately all that Jeremy Doku has been able to be for this side. So, with one departure going out, I think it's time to start looking at incomings, arrivals in this City side. And we spoke about Lamine Camara being a possible midfield addition. We've got a lot of midfielders already, but just one more that brings energy, pace, physicality. That is what we're looking for throughout the transfer window. That is the sort of squad we're going to build for Julian Nagelsmann. A team of 11 players and on the bench who can run for 90 minutes straight, who can win physical battles, who can get all over the field. And Lamine Camara, looking at those stats, sticks out to me as certainly one of those players. I mean, look at that, 82 pace, 75 shooting, 85 passing, wow. 82 dribbling, 77 defending, and 74 physical. An absolute all-rounder is this Senegalese midfielder. He plays for Brentford in the Premier League, which makes it maybe a little more difficult to try and bring him in. But I think at his price, the level of positions that he can play, he's got really good ability, good agility. I mean, there you can see one stat under 70, which is 68 strength. That shows the all-roundedness of this man. 52 heading, 58 volleys and 58 penalties. Other than that, we're all on the green. He's got a flair play style as well, which really does excite me. So we have made a move for him. We've had a bid accepted, and Lamine Camara will be Julian Nagelsmann's first signing of the Nagelsmann era. Handshake here with a German, his new boss, who is going to be taking charge of Camara. He sees him very similar, I think, stylistically. If you remember, during his time at RB Leipzig, he had a player called Haidara, a very energetic, technically gifted midfielder, somebody who can get around, put the tackles in, and that is Lamine Camara. He joins Manchester City and a deal worth €70.5 million. Massive money spent there by Manchester City, and we aren't going to stop there because we're going to make signing number 2 here, and I've decided on bringing this man, Guevaro Reed, the fullback from Atalanta, where he plays now. He played his trade in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands. He actually made a game against us, played against us, was fantastic in a game against us. I think he kept Savinho very quiet, or Doku quiet in the game. And we said at the time, if you remember, go back and look at the episode where we played Feyenoord, whoever, at PSV, I said, this guy's really good. This guy's got something about him. Well, we've now identified him as a target because he's moved to Atalanta in Italy. He's impressed there as well in Italy, and it's time for us to make a move and bring him in. I think he is the future Jeremy Frimpong on that right-hand side. With Frimpong at 26, 27 years of age now, you're always looking to improve this side for the future. That is Hugo Viana's remit. That's his way of doing things. He looks at players for the future, and this guy has got good pace. Now, we have to look out for the fact that he's in negotiations with OGC Nice. The French side, who are owned by Jim Ratcliffe, Man United owner, they might just want to sign him and then get him to Manchester United. So they have him on their list as well. Now, he's got areas of his game to work on. His shooting's pretty poor. His passing's not great and his defending's not amazing either. But playing sort of a right winger role, a right midfielder role that he will in this side in the formation we play with a back three, as a wing back, for example, I think he'll really excel in that position. He's quick, he's physical, and he's got good dribbling. And if he can work in those other areas, better crosser of the ball, better decision making on the ball, then we're talking about a fullback that could be maybe the future of world football, the new Jeremy Frimpong, someone who's got real quality on that right-hand side. So we are going to make a move for him and see if we can agree a deal here for Reed, and I think he'll be a great signing for the side, a good addition for this squad. Well, really impressive negotiations by Hugo Viana means that we do sign our new right wing-back, attacking winger, fullback in Reed. He will be added to this Manchester City side. Handshake and meeting with Julian Nagelsmann, his new manager. What a big move it is to move from Atalanta to Manchester City, but I think he's got the step up here to the Premier League. He's certainly got the physical attributes to have no problems. He won't wear the number 2. That is just the shirt number they've automatically given him. I think he'll wear it, maybe number 19, something like that we'll look at for him. And there he is, Jivaro Reed to Manchester City for 12 million euros. I think that is a complete and utter bargain. So, more transfers going on here. Villarreal are signing a player from Club Brugge. 56 million euros Villarreal are spending. I mean, these teams around world football are spending some big money in the transfer market. And it's something you have to say, we've got to keep spending maybe to compete. Although our players from our youth system, our loan players that are sort of, I don't know, controlling the Premier League at the moment, developing in the Premier League, we've got players for the future here, there, and absolutely everywhere. Well, with Rodri expected to leave the side, with Doku already officially leaving the side, this is the sort of starting 11 and bench I'm looking at to start the season. So Costa will be our starting goalkeeper. Vardy or Haaland will be captain this year if Rodri goes. Kusanov and Araujo the back three. Camavinga and Wharton are, I think, a really good complement to each other in that midfield too. One a good passer, one a really energetic player. With Savinho, a winger, and a fullback Frimpong in the wide areas. And then Foden and Marmoush supporting Erling Haaland up top. Now that could change easily because we've got Simons or Bob that come into those roles with Foden and Marmoush. They will rotate in those roles. McKay can go on that right hand side to make us more attacking. Oscarson can give Erling Haaland the rest. And of course, on the bench we have Cambiasso on the left who can make us more defensive. Also a different sort of attacking option. Edison, a real powerhouse midfielder, can come in for Camavinga or Wharton. The same goes for Kamara, who's a real energy bunny as well. And then we have Jimabar as a backup defender on the bench. A big physical defender. 6'5", 8'5". He's certainly not. He's big, but he's not that big. 6'5", he can come in. And then, of course, Milinkovic-Savic as well. And if you look at the reserves, I think we've got a real array of talent in the reserves as well. Players who are all very different stylistic players. Very young players, barring Nico and Karius. Nico's the experienced player who misses out on the starting bench, really. But we've got Egeli, who's going to be in the squad this season. I think his pace can cause big problems to the opposition. Rico Lewis, who is a very versatile player. Mukasa, who would like to get more involved. Nico, who can play that holding midfield role, or more central midfield role, the box-to-box role in the midfield too. Nico O'Reilly can play the midfield role as well. I think he can even play out wide, O'Reilly. And I'd say he can even play centre-back. I think he's, like Rico Lewis, a very versatile player. The 79 rated Max Allen, I think, is going to play a big part in this side as well. I think maybe he's going to find his way into the team ahead of Jimabar, actually. I think he's probably ahead of Jimabar in his development. He's a little around the same age, but a little bit ahead because of that Premier League loan that he did have at Bournemouth, where Jimabar also developed in Season 2 as well. Reed is there as well as a sort of right wing back as well, a right winger. But I'm happy with that squad. When you look at the reserves there, we've got the array of talent, the youngsters, the superstars we've got in the team. I don't think there's any way you can improve this side. Yes, losing Rodri is going to be absolutely massive, but we've got the midfield options that I think can help us out. Yes, losing Doku can be big as well, but that City side, I think, is ready to start the season and what could be a very successful season for a very good Manchester City side. Let's get into it and let's see how things go for Julian Nagelsmann. First game of the season time, 7th of August 2027. It's the FA Cup winners versus the Premier League winners. Well, they don't exist, so we invited Arsenal to play us as they were the second place side in the Premier League. The side that we beat on the final day of the season. It's time for the final ever Community Shield in this season, and in this series anyway, and hopefully we get a win. It's a chance to see the way Nagelsmann's side will play and so on, and if it is going to be a new era as successful as Pep Guardiola's, I don't think we're going to know that from the first game ever played, but we'll have a bit of an understanding and a bit of an idea of how things are going to go. This side we're going to go with today against Arsenal. Goal starts our second choice goalkeeper Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, the back three of Araujo, Jimaba and Joško Gvardiol. Midfield two of Edison and Wharton with Frimpong and Savinho in the wide areas. It's then Marmoush and Xavi Simons supporting the captain Erling Haaland up top. On the bench we've got Oskarsson, Bob, Foden, Makadu, Kamara the new signing, Cambiasso, Camavinga and Kusana. So Community Shield final here. Arsenal didn't do anything to get here. They didn't qualify to get here. We invited them as we won every single trophy last year. Arteta's still in charge of this Arsenal side after last year's very disappointing end to it. Losing on the final day of the season to Manchester City, who went on to lift that Premier League title. It's City versus Arsenal. This Community Shield is the first chance for Julian Nagelsmann's side to see how they play under a new coach, a little bit of a new idea, but a similar philosophy. Well, this is the Arsenal side starting a 4-3-3. Very similar side to what we usually see. Upamecano partners Rudiger in that back line. Saka, Havertz and Martinelli still the front three. Trossard, Quenda has been signed from Chelsea there on the bench. Virgil van Dijk is on the bench. Gabriel Jesus, Ødegaard, Merino, Rice still in midfield three. Not many changes to this Arsenal side at all over the years. His hold-up plays, his link-up play. Nice done by Edison though. Savinho, onto Marmoush. A bit of trouble here. Haaland, back to Marmoush. Marmoush the far post. Frimpong is waiting. Good defending by Upamecano. Behind for a corner. We get away with it, but yeah, Jimabar's got a lot to learn. He wasn't amazing last year, but there's a lot of trust in him from Nagelsmann. Frimpong. Xavi Simons. Back wide to Frimpong. Frimpong in. Haaland is there. Erling Haaland at the near post. Big save by David Raya. Savinho with a foot in. Saka away from him. Gvardiol can't get his challenge in either. Saka. Ran through the whole team here. Araujo with a challenge in the box here. Saka away. Behind for a corner. Oh, City have created lots of trouble for Arsenal here. And here's Omar Marmoush. And Arsenal in big trouble. And Marmoush. And Marmoush here off the post. What a chance of Marmoush hits the post. Haaland. Xavi. Right to Savinho. Savinho in. Haaland is running. Haaland is there! City score, but Haaland's offside. Really good balling by Savinho. We're using those wingers now. One wing back, one winger. Savinho can swing it in that left foot. We've got Frimpong swinging it in with the right. And back into the space to Simons. And Xavi clips into Marmoush here. And Marmoush takes it so well. Back to Marmoush! Saved by Raya. Heads in the rebound. City have the lead. And it's Omar Marmoush for the goal. What an attacking run that is by Marmoush. Really good find by Xavi Simons. I don't think we'll get the assist because the initial shot is saved. City lead Arsenal Community Shield here. Nice ball in behind on the chest of Marmoush. Shot saved by Raya. Back to Omar Marmoush. And it's a simple header. We didn't expect him to miss this. We only got 75 heading accuracy on Marmoush, but from there, that range, I know Raya's diving, it's a narrow angle. We like to play on the counter, with Xavi playing passes like that we won't do. And he set up Martinelli here. And Gabriel Martinelli, what a save by Savic. Hopefully Wharton can run that little knock off. Havertz. Martinelli. It's Araujo. Oh, that's unbelievable skill from Gabriel Martinelli. Completed Araujo there. Jumabari's in the box. Can't get a challenge. Martinelli slices it wide. Poor attempt by Gabriel Martinelli. Xavi Simons, that's brilliant. It's Frimpong away from Calafiori. He won't catch him surely. Frimpong. Oh, Calafiori, the horrible challenge there. Knew exactly what he was doing. From behind on Frimpong. I personally think, because of the intent, it's a red card. But it's only going to be a yellow for Calafiori. And we're going to make changes now anyway. But that's a horrible challenge by Calafiori. Absolutely terrible. I mean, look at that. Good ball to Merino. Ball behind Araujo, who's asleep a little bit to the Martinelli chance here. The first time. And Jumabar in the box. Misses it and Martinelli scores. And Jumabar, I feel like he should win that challenge there. The big man. Slides it on Gabriel Martinelli. Misses the tackle. That's a bad tackle by Jumabar. Araujo as well, he's been fantastic today, Araujo, barring one Araujo mistake against Martinelli. That time he didn't read the run. Nice feet from Ødegaard. Jumabar in the box, penalty Arsenal. In the 85th minute, Jumabar gives away a penalty. Well, he's not happy about it, the big man. Is it a penalty? I don't know, it's a clumsy tackle. Kai Havertz against Milinkovic-Savic. Oh, what a save by Milinkovic-Savic. What a save by the goalkeeper. Arsenal could win it here, but no. And into Kamara. And Kamara here. And what a switch to Cambiasso by Kamara. And here's the Italian Cambiasso at the end of the game. Cambiasso! Saved by Raya. Kept in by Makeda. Back into Oscar Bob, blocked away. Away by Arsenal again. Makeda down the box. Penalty Manchester City. What a game this has been. What an incredible game this has been to start the season. Makeda takes it down. He's taken down by Martinelli. And now City have a last minute penalty to win this. Wow. And Captain Erling Haaland steps up. Come on. Top left-hand corner. Erling Haaland dispatches the penalty in the 91st minute. Julian Nagelsmann's City side have the lead here over Arsenal. Wow. What an end to the game. They have a penalty with Kai Havertz, which is missed. We got the other end with Cambiasso. We think we've won the game. We missed the chance. And then it's a penalty given away by Martinelli on Makeda. And up steps Erling Haaland. 99 shot power, 99 finishing, 90 penalties. It's into the top left-hand corner. And Erling Haaland might just give City the FA Community Shield. And one more win over Arsenal for this City side. 2-1 Manchester City. What a game this has been. Absolutely spectacular football at Wembley Stadium. A massively, massively entertaining game of football. Marshalling them so well. And that is full time. A City win in the Community Shield. A 91st minute penalty. Well, Arsenal look pretty disappointed here, as you can see on the field. The City players are very, very happy. And there is Ryan Makeda, Phil Foden, some of the stars of the show today. Makeda came on and won the penalty, didn't he? The youngster who's got a big, big hope that he's going to be a key player for Manchester City this season. And Nagelsmann starts his City career as manager in style with an FA Community Shield win. City won it last year, they retain it this year. It's only like a pre-season trophy, but it's one that sets us a good base for the season. What a start by City for this year. Barcelona have signed Kolo Muani, which is a very interesting deal. Milero has joined Leeds United from Trabzonspor. And you've also seen Denki moving to Stade Brest from Cincinnati FC for €31 million. That's a big move, probably the biggest move we've ever seen from the MLS. AC Milan bringing Castello Luqueba from Lille for €65 million. Strasbourg are keen on signing Guirassy. And there's been plenty of moves in the transfer market, hasn't there? Some big moves, really, over the years. Otavio's moved from Porto, finally, to Osasuna for €27 million. That's big money spent by Osasuna. The final game of today's episode will be another final. This time, Manchester City take on Tottenham Hotspur. City take on the side in a game for the Best Team in Europe award, I guess. We're Champions League winners. They were Europa League winners. It's an all-English final. And hopefully one Julian Nagelsmann's side can come out on top of. Well, Julian Nagelsmann is still trying to understand these players and understand these teams, so we have made some changes today in this final to try and work the team out. We also only allowed a smaller bench for some reason. So Milinkovic-Savic, Max Alleyne, Nico, Edison, Xavi Simons, Frimpong and Marmoush are the bench. Maybe a chance for Max Alleyne to make his debut. Also Nico on the bench, his first start of the season, or first appearance of the season. So Costa starts in goal today for this final. It's Araujo, Kusenov and Vardy the back three. The midfield two is a debut for Kamara alongside Eduardo Camavinga. Savinho on the right, no Frimpong today, he's complacent, so we've only put 3 complacent players in there. Because that win, that is something to do with morale. I don't want to risk it. So new signing Reed makes his Manchester City debut on the right-hand side. Now, naturally I would play Makeda there. But the fact that Savinho is going to be on the left and also Cambiasso got too many yellow cards. He got a yellow card in the Champions League final. He's suspended for this one. So because Savinho's on the left, we want a more defensive player on the right, more of a fullback player, and we'll always rotate between those. So if a winger's on one side, a fullback will be on the other. In this case, Savinho's on the left, so Reed will be on the right. Otherwise, it would have been Frimpong. Well, it would have been Makeda there, and also Cambiasso on the left. That's how it's worked. And it's going to be Oscar Bob and Phil Foden today. No Xavi Simons supporting Captain Erling Haaland up top. There is the big tifo banner of Joško Gvardiol, one of City's key players in this side. It's UEFA Super Cup final. Manchester City versus Spurs, an all-English final. And we could end this episode with Julian Nagelsmann managing Manchester City for just 2 competitive games and winning, in that time, 2 trophies. That is how good he could have a start to Manchester City being manager. City's 2 new signings over the summer, Reed and Kamara, both start in that team today in that midfield. Reed on the right, Kamara in the midfield, which is good to see as well. Hopefully they have very good performances. 2 younger players, 2 players again for the future this side, and 2 players personally picked out for having the qualities, the minerals that Julian Nagelsmann is looking from his side. City versus Spurs, they won the Europa League last year. They did a decent job, didn't they, under Ange Postecoglou. Has stuck around and continued to win trophies with them. They made big investments in their side, and a former City player in there in Jack Grealish. Let's see how Spurs do line up today for the final. That is the City side, as you can see there. Full lineup displayed. How are Spurs going to be? Because we are looking to impress with the debuts of Reed and also Kamara. Reed had a fantastic game for us in the Champions League. Was it last season, a year before? He impressed the scouts then, and he continued to impress the scouts, and that's why he brought him in. A few players known by Nagelsmann actually on this side. Ibrahima Konate was managed by him at RB Leipzig. Jack Grealish is known well by us, as is James Trafford, the Spurs goalkeeper. They made the addition of Nuno Mensch as well in this team, so it is in goal James Trafford, a back 4 of Johnston, Mosquera, Konate, Nuno Mensch, a midfield 3 of Bissouma, Cristante, and youngster Mella, who's come through the Spurs youth system. Grealish, Di Marco on the right, interesting. Gyökeres to the middle. Llorente, Harding, Ramos, Madison, Tio, Danzo on that Spurs bench. Kamara. Oscar Bob. Oh, and taking off his boot there by the Spurs man. Grealish, Gyökeres, who's quick. Grealish. Araujo makes the challenge. Grealish still gets away from him. Gyökeres up against Kusanov. Kusanov with a big hefty challenge in the box there by Kusanov. Good feet from Bob, he's away from Miller in the midfield. Reed. Bob. Back to Reed, the young fullback here, up against Nuno Mensch. Nuno Mensch for a sliding challenge on young Reed here. It's going to be a yellow card for Mensch. Late challenge on the fullback. Free kick City. Haaland's over it. Foden's going to take it. Can we get this in the head of Erling Haaland here? Won by Foden. Savinho is there. Oh, Trafford just manages to punch it. Still could go in. And somehow cleared off the line. Grealish to the other side of it. Jack Grealish here. Against Araujo, who comes and makes the challenge. Grealish somehow keeps it. Jack Grealish! 1-0 Spurs. City conceded. Araujo started the episode really well against Arsenal. Made one mistake that gave away a chance for a penalty. And former City man Jack Grealish scores for Spurs here. Well, actually, he doesn't win it there. Grealish takes it off him. And then Jack Grealish, of all people, with a good finish. Don't expect it here from Grealish. But he's done it there. 1-0 Spurs. Or we have one cleared off the line. We give the ball away from the back line too often in poor areas. He's done it again there. That way to Savinho. Foden. In behind to Savinho. What a ball by Phil Foden. Savinho. Racing. Mosquera on him. Savinho! Test the palms of Trafford. Through the midfield they go too easily again. And look at the space of Grealish on this side. Jack Grealish again here. Goal scorer. Pulls it back here. Miller! Big save by Costa. Oscar Bob back onto Kamara. Camavinga. Foden. Foden hits one here. Good save by Trafford. Tried it from range there, Phil Foden. Bob. 3-1-3 to Foden. What a ball by Bob. Phil Foden is in. Phil Foden tackled at the last by Bissouma. Gvardiol goes pressing. He's nowhere near it. Di Marco. We've had chances, just can't put the ball in the back of the net, but not a big chance really. Ball through to Gyökeres. Araujo in there, great challenge. Gvardiol runs into trouble here, Gvardiol. Tackled Gvardiol. Blocks it and wins it back again, Gvardiol. Gives it away to Gyökeres. 2-0 Spurs, game over. And we lose the Community Shield. Joško Gvardiol there had ample opportunities to clear that ball. Decides against it. And Gyökeres scores, and Spurs are going to be Super Cup winners. We're not going to win a trophy. We're yet to win in this series. Not creative enough, this City side. Foden into Marmoush here. Marmoush. Savinho, a tapping. 2-1, but I think that's too late. Really good ball by Phil Foden there. Cuts it through to Marmoush. He makes the run in behind across to Savinho. 2-1, but I think it's too little too late from the City side. Camavinga wins it. Savinho, Marmoush. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. Nagelsmann wins the Community Shield, but his Man City side cannot win the UEFA Super Cup against Spurs, who come out on top, unfortunately. Well, it's just a glorified European friendly, but it is disappointing to lose. Thank you for watching. Please do like the video if you're not already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. That's disappointing as Spurs step up to lift it. Jack Grealish and Vita Gyökeres are the team that sink us. But we're going to go all for it in the Premier League and the Champions League again this season and see what we can do. I don't think it's going to be as successful as the Pep Guardiola era. Of course not. But we can only see. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.